Alright, we're making a cooking guide for BDO. I saw this BDO 2022 cooking guide from this guy, Summer, and I disagree with many things, sadly. So I just want to showcase why my setup is completely different. Even if I'm way lower in mastery, I just feel like for a new player this doesn't work very well. So I'll just look at the video, show why I took a different approach, and we'll see.
Hey guys,
What's the
I'm
final
Summer and
outcome
this is
is.
my cooking by the book video series.
So,
Cooking goes well together
Summer,
with
I hope
many
you appreciated me watching on this and leaving comments. I'll give you my thoughts.
play styles and is a great way to make money.
So, this guy might be focused a bit more on money, while BDO, as big as a game, I want to focus a bit more on contribution points. That is like the main thing for like family-based profiles. So if you have more than one character on BDO and you want to manage an entire network properly, I'm thinking more about like a family-wide. So it's not like you start cooking with one single character. You need multiple character, from my point of view. So
Right off the bat, here's 3 examples of what cooking can be for you.
so
Collecting your free 45 to 120 mil profit every day from an NPC.
this is
Or
okay.
cook in-game while you walk the doggo for easy CP and AFK money.
Exactly. So those are the 2 main reasons.
Or
Or
you can gather, process, farm and cook up a storm for billions of silver.
okay. So he's Guru 50 and plus. So he's just working on mastery. He's doing number 3. But for people that aren't that far ahead into cooking, that's what I'm gonna describe instead. But I'm gonna take this video because it's a great example. It's a very well made video. And I wanted to take this and use it, but inputting my own feedback on it.
You can see the series as a guided tour through cooking, from setting up to getting EXP and making money with it. In this video we'll start out nice and slow with gear, mastery and getting materials. And by the end of the video you'll know how to efficiently level cooking to Guru. Cooking is easy to get into but hard to master, and
Cooking is not easy to get into it anymore, especially if you are not like doing a bit of pay to win, because you don't have storage for it. So I feel like even after the CP changes that they made to the game, I feel like you don't have enough CP to manage all of the cooking stuff to be self-sustainable to a certain point.
in this series I will make mastering cooking easy. I'll break down all the spicy topics in cooking into bite-sized chunks so you can understand cooking from the ground up. And then we're gonna use that knowledge to min-max the hell out of cooking.
So
the
we're gonna
best and slot life skill calculator BDOlytics and the life skill Discord, which
I'm
has an
using
insane
Insando right
collection
here.
of knowledge and is the place to be if you're trying to get knowledgeable on life skills. Before we start, I'll present 3 questions. Chances are you either have encountered or will encounter them at some point in your cooking progression. Should I cook with mastery or silver embroidered clothes?
Okay, I'm gonna show mine. There we go. I'm using a try minus cook clothes. I do have a similar silver embroidered cook clothes as well. But let's watch this first.
Which town should I cook? And what is the most efficient way to level cooking after Guru? After watching this video, you will hopefully know the answer to all 3 questions.
The first one, I think it's completely right in this video. We'll watch it together, but you gotta take the word for him. The thing is, like, it's very expensive, so I think you gotta just choose one of the 2 and go for it. And hope for the best. Just don't dwell too much, just pick one of the 2. Where should you cook? I'm gonna give you my own input, then you take your decision. And the third one, I don't know, it's up to you.
And with that, we can turn to our first topic, gear. Your gear in cooking has 2 goals: to bring down the cook time as low as possible and to
And that's gonna be like super expensive.
get more mastery. Your cook time starts at 10 seconds and the minimum you can reach is 1 second. Here's how to get it. The way to get 1 second cook time with spending the least amount of silver is gonna include an advanced or supreme utensil.
Completely agree. So you gotta get this one. I use advanced currently, right here. And I'm gonna tell you how to make them also, automatically, for the most part.
Seafood cornmeal, spirit stone and verdure draft, +3 silver embroidered cook's clothes and the canapé costume. From
Seafood chrome meal, you get it from the quest line from new characters. You end up having some of them. You get them sometime from codes, and you also can craft them. They are always on the marketplace from like guru cookers, so they're not that bad to get. For this one, you can use a live spirit stone. They cost 1 mil, or you can drop them around Camasilva. You can use the clothes, and the canapé is the pay
there
to
we
win.
can upgrade to a sharp alchemy stone of life of any color to get 1 second cook time even when our verdure runs out. The canapé costume is a pearl shop item, and if you don't wanna spend cash, you can still get 1 second cook time by upgrading from +3 to +4 cook's clothes.
See, that's still good.
On sheet you can reach 1 second cook time, but realistically you will get server lag between crafts, so your real cook time is more like 1.2 seconds. And the lag varies from person to person though, and you can find your own cook time by timing how long it takes to use up one utensil.
Sure.
Let's talk about utensils. There's a lot of different utensils, and I'll point out the ones that I recommend using. First, we got our basic bitch cooking utensil bought from a vendor.
Now, I do think that, like, after thinking about it for a bit, I don't think you should ever use the basic cooking utensil ever. You should just push to the advanced one immediately. And I'm gonna show you how you can do that.
It's easy to get, but has very limited durability. You'll want to move on from them pretty soon to advanced utensils. They get much higher durability and give 1 second cook time reduction. The downside is that they need to be
something
crafted
you
and
should
require
do.
rough stone and logs. You can gather rough stone at Pilgrim's Haven in the desert and chop trees for logs or simply buy them.
Yeah, that's the point number 2. You can't buy logs. They are not available on the market. So if we go here, if we look for scantling,
한 분씩 차례대로.
they're not available. In stock 0. If we look for log, it's also not available, so 0. So this guy is telling us location on where you could get them, but actually you cannot get them from the marketplace, so you have to gather them. So I feel like it's gonna be pretty important to you to find a spot. Could be in Calphion, could be in Heidel. I think I pick Heidel just because it was very close to a bunch of farming nodes, so I think it was good for me to have this place because it was very close to a bunch of nodes that I needed for cooking. So I kind of suggest Heidel to people as a starting location for cooking. You need like 50 CPs. So I currently have this house as residence, but to get this one, if I remember well, you have like to invest in all of this, and then you change to this, and then you remove this, and then you go back to other stuff. I don't remember exactly how you get this house, but one thing I can tell you that you should definitely 100% do, and is get all of these 5 houses like this. You get 2 lodging right here, so 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4, and 1-5. So you have 3 storage, 2 lodging. So this is gonna be useful for workers that are gonna go around Heidel and are gonna gather. I think I would put, if I had to choose, I would put wheat, pumpkin, maybe honey, and then you want this one, potato, chicken egg, potato, chicken egg. Those are like the main one. There's also like 1 potato right here and a couple right here, corn and corn. You can put that from Calphion, from Velia, wherever you prefer, but stick to this for now when you start cooking. So then after this thing, you have like 1 worker from the city, 2 from this lodging right here, because we have like, so it's 2, 3, that's 4, and that's 5. So you have 5 workers. You can already get 5 workers getting resources from these nodes. Then you want to go here, get 7-1, 7-2, first floor. 7, 3. 3 lodging, so it's like 3 is like actually 4 more workers. So you actually have 4, 6, 7, 8 workers, I think, something along those lines. And that's pretty important because you want 7 workers going around the city, gathering 4 nodes, and the last worker is gonna be used here, not in 7-4 third floor, but in 7-4 second floor, where you have the tool workshop. And what we are looking for is tier 3. The tier 4 does have the alchemy tool maxed, but we don't need the tier 4, we need the tier 3 for cooking. And here you can make advanced cooking utensil. Having all of this, the workers here, allow you to dedicate one guy to crafting this. So, pretty important thing. You can also get refinery 3-1 right here, first floor, to make blackstone powder. It's also important. This is not very expensive, just this stuff in title should cost around 50 CP, 50 contribution points, so should be very affordable from everyone. Now, I would suggest to link Calphion to Heidel. It will take a bit. I think you need this node, this node, this node, this node, this node, and you're done. So it's not super expensive, you should do that as well. Because the next step is gonna be to get the materials for cooking. So one thing that is not gonna be enough, and you're gonna notice that immediately, and that you don't have enough fruits for cooking to make the basic ingredients. So you wanna buy them. How are you gonna buy them? You can buy them from an NPC that is like Milano. It's called Milano Belusi, and you can find it here south of Calphion. I show that later because I have a second character going from there to the storage to make things quicker. But I did set up my house in Heidel, basically because going outside of the city, you can actually gather the material immediately to craft the stations that you need. Let's say I got this pickaxe, I jump down here, and you can immediately gather rocks right here. Not all of them are gatherable, but you can see. I'm not gonna even. I don't even have the best setup for gathering right now, like for the time and stuff. But here you can actually get rocks and logs to make the cooking utensils, and you're gonna need a lot of rocks. And having basically having an house that is near a bunch of rocks, it's kind of important because the time it takes for you to go from your residence and the location with the rocks, it's the time that you would like spend. Let's say if you have a character somewhere else, to swap the character from one, like you swap from one character to another character. And my house being there, it's also really useful for like being close to rocks and trees. So I think this is a good spot for my house, but I'm gonna show like another good spot that is near Milano Bellucci. And it's here in Calphion, south of Calphion. I don't know exactly where, but we can click on Calphion. We can go from housing, residence. You see there's one here, I think Milano is one of these two. You could put it here, let's say. So you are near Milano, or you can put it one of this. So you can have rocks and logs here, the fruits right here, and the only thing that is a bit far is the storage, but you can sell at the stable. So, yeah, as you can see, I can get rocks from there. I can also get logs really easily from here, because up here it's full of logs, it's full of trees. Not exactly down here, but if we go here, it's full of trees. Now, how do you manage all of these ingredients if you don't have storage? Because you are probably lacking storage. So, important thing. See, having the house right there, I can just run back. I can deposit everything that I have right here at the marketplace before re-entering my house. So I gather a bunch. This is stuff that weighs a lot, so you cannot keep it in your inventory. Let's say I do that. I do this. I have 12 logs. I can put it in the storage of of my house. Like currently I don't have that much storage. But as you can see, I can like bring the logs. You need to buy also a container. It's 10 contribution points, so that's gonna bring up to 60 contribution points. And it's not a lot. And as you can see, we can deposit this here, and from this, you can use the rocks automatically from the craft guide worker. I have idle craft guide. There you go. It's right here. This is my guide that is crafting right now. And you can go here. You can go here. You can manage crafting and make the blackstone. Or we could go here. We can go here and manage crafting and make this thing. Currently we are missing resources, so I just made a couple yesterday. We are missing polished stone. I think a pretty important thing for cookers is having like a processing stone that you can equip when you do that. So when you process your stone, having like a stone, this is like 8 mil. So I decided to go for this, but if you're richer, you can get a better one. So you keep this, you gather all of your stone, you keep this, you process it, you do process. Let's do it with the logs. So 20 logs, you do process, chopping, logs, mass, having the stone of life or life stone. I have this one for an event, but you can use your own. You basically make scantily. That's it. You put them back in the storage right here, and you have them. You set up the craft guy. You can do that while cooking, so you don't lose time on cooking. So the guy that from earlier from the video show you where, like, told you where you could get that. Like, I'm completely showing you the full process of how I'm getting it. Like, it would be ideal to do this with like 100 logs, because it takes 1 minute when you do mass cooking. So you gather 100 logs, you gather 100 stone, and then you do this mass process. So this takes a minute, and it crafts usable scantling. So once you have the scantling, and the other thing is the polished stone, the third thing that you need is melted iron shard that you can acquire by heating iron. Okay, heating iron, so it's always a processing thing. So you gotta have a good processing stone or whatever. This one is decent, I feel like it's decent. So you wanna process the iron, you smelt it. You need an iron node. There is an iron node north of Idle, and it's here. If you don't have any iron, it's here. So that's also really close, or north of Idle. You could get that, or you could buy iron from the store. I think you have iron currently on the marketplace, but if you don't, it's right there. So all of the things that you need are right here.
통하면 손해 볼 일은 없을 겁니다.
I don't remember if iron you get melted iron from the node. It is possible. Yeah, currently this one is in stock, as you can see. But you could also get it from the node and process it. So as you start your day, you go down here, you get 100 rock. You store, go back in your storage, and deposit the rocks. You go back down, you get 100 logs. You go back up, you store 100 logs. And then you go back down, you get another 100 rocks. You go back here, and you put them in. You get the blackstone. You get one worker on the crafting blackstone. And you get another working on crafting the utensil. And then you are here. And you're at this point. And you're gonna need 2 things. One is grain or potato. Those are cereals. Since you have a bunch of nodes in the game to get this stuff, it's super easy to acquire this automatically. You always get stuff like this, like from workers. So basically, I suggest you buy leavening agent and sugar, and that's it. So you see I have a bunch of stuff. You should not care about that. You get leavening agent, sugar, all of these three things that are the grains and stuff. And maybe honey, I don't know. Honey and chicken are also pretty good for like auto recipes. And the last thing you need is to buy fruits. How do you buy fruits? We change character. I'm gonna go in my character in Calcium right here, and you're gonna see how you can buy fruits. It's not super hard. This is a fresh character made with the new season, so it you'll kinda see how much weight limit I have on the character, but if you pay to win or if you manage a bit more with the loyalty, you can even have more. So you do this, you look for Milano. Simple. Click on this. Go outside. See. Equip a Balenos meal, so it goes faster in movement speed. Equip, if you have it, the Pearl Custom that gives you +1 speed. And in like a minute I'll be there. Buy the strawberry, because they're the cheapest one. Buy 4,000 at the time. You can transfer only 15k strawberries at a time. So once you go back to the storage, so you can do this, buy multiple, 4,200. I think it's my limit. So it's gonna be a bit slow, 123% because 125 trigger the next slowness on the character. So we go there, we deposit into the shop. If you've done the Magnus quest line at least once, that is like use the storages from far away, you just put them in and then you leave and you swap character immediately, because you can do the transport while cooking. So you don't even need to stay on this character. You just when you've done this like three or four times, you can do this while like doing other things on other windows. I don't know, if you're like playing another game on your PC or you're like watching vids and stuff, you go here, it automatically go back to the storage. One thing with my house is that like currently can autopad to my house, and that's not a minor thing to consider. So see, here we storage, we deposit the strawberries, all of them, and here we're done. In Calcium there is a couple nodes that you want to consider, and there are those two. You get one worker from free, so you get wheat first, and you also get paprika, that is a vegetable. And once you've done that, you do this like 5 times, let's say. Then you swap back to your character on idle. But I have an important mention to do. This is not worth doing. If you want to make CP faster first, you should first get a character static on Duvenkron, because with the daily quest rotation that you get there, you get contribution points way faster than doing this. So this is just for basically AFK contribution points. And we go here, we get 2,500. I want to do that. Deposit. So we get 2,500. You're gonna have less weight, so you do less. You do like 2k. If you don't have space for 2k, you do even less. I currently can use 2,500 of this, 2,500 of bleeding agent, and 2,500 of sugar. And keep your clothes of your choice that the guy told you in the video. Go here and you're gonna make vinegar. If you have wheat, you do this one. If you have grain or corn, you use this one. If you have potato, you use that one. We are currently carrying corn, so we do this. Batch production. And wait, before I do that, we do challenge. There should be a daily challenge that gives you life XP, or like one thing. I can use this. I have this for an event or something, so I can use that. Vinegar. Bam. Batch production, yes. And done. And you're done. You're basically done. Now you're cooking. Now, using mastery colors give you mastery, so it gives you the chance of like dropping more vinegar, of like cooking more stuff together. I'm currently master 5. Been doing like this pretty much AFK most of the time. And as you can see, like sometimes it cooks 10 things at the time. Higher your mastery, easier it is for you to get more stuff. But this is basically almost no-brainer. It takes the less amount of time possible to gather the stone, to gather the logs, and then you go back here. The two things that you need is the processing stone, one tool to gather the logs or the stone, that is this, and they give you this away from the Spirit Adventure, but you also you can use the one that you can buy. And what else? You can use the scroll that gives you life XP. I ran out, but they give you once per day, so it's good. And you can use the Verdant Drought. You can use all of the things that this guy said in the video.
To find a fitting workshop to craft them, just punch an advanced cooking utensil into the search field.
So now that is going,
and the game will show all the appropriate workshop locations. Supreme utensils are pretty much advanced utensils with 5k durability.
Those are good for FK.
They can't be crafted, but you will get them through exchanging various items.
But doing
like
this
Imperial
quest line, it's
seals,
like very...
Dark Rift drops, Node War medals, and
it takes too much time.
Winter dailies.
Like if I had a lot of time, I would
Traditional
consider
utensils
like
have high durability but increase your cook time.
overnight.
You can use them for overnight sessions where we don't care about the cook time. Advanced and Supreme utensils can be repaired. To get a repair kit, you can exchange a utensil with a cooking NPC of your choice.
So we don't care about that.
Now let's talk about mastery. If you hover over your cooking mastery in-game, it will show a bunch of cryptic values. But what do they mean?
Chance of most cooking, the chance that you use 10 times the ingredients. It's not that cryptic. Max number of dishes, it's like you get more out of this. Using the same ingredient, you get more stuff. Higher grade version of a dish, you get something that is worth more NPC price, and higher grade version, basically that. And the max number of higher grade dishes is also like basically like a profit thingy. You receive extra profit when turning in the boxes. That's also for your mastery. So if you end up selling, when selling, you want to keep your Manos gear. When crafting, you want to use like the other gear. I don't know.
Simply put, cooking mastery will give you a chance to mass cook, increase how many dishes you get each craft. So since mass cooks take the same durability as regular cooks, higher mastery means less durability used. So
yeah, exactly. So if you go for higher mastery, you need less cooking utensils. So I would suggest Manos gear, but that will give you less CP, but that would mean that you have to gather more stone. So you're gonna have to manage on your own depending on the material that you currently have.
Good news,
on how much time you have to gather every day. I don't have much time, so I use Manos cooking clothes. They are very expensive, but since I have them, I don't need to remake tools every time because I don't lose on the durability that much.
Mastery equals fewer trips to pilgrims. Mastery also increases the number of items we get each craft. Each craft we get between 1 and 4 items, so 2.5 on average, and we get rare procs for each mastery bracket. The rates you see here apply to the majority of dishes, but there are a few exceptions. Onto lightstones and artifacts. There are essentially...
Yeah, you're gonna hit this problem. You're gonna need this one. That is like very expensive. Let's say 1 bill plus. The lightstone of Flora's tier. This one is 1 bill. The other one are cheap.
2 lightstone sets for cooking.
Guy says 5 bill.
And the endgame
I bought
set.
mine for 1 bill, and
the budget set is called Excellent Chef and will give you cooking XP. The endgame set is called Fundamentals of Cooking and the only set to give cooking time reduction.
This one is the problem.
The bottleneck for the endgame set is the Stir Stone. Okay, and what about cooking artifact?
Could be 5 bill. Could be honest, be 5 bill. And you gotta watch a specific video if you don't wanna spend those 5 bill on how to get this. You gotta get like Guru Alchemy and stuff like that. So either you spend a lot or you spend a lot of time on getting Guru Alchemy and then you deal with RNG. So it's still like not an easy item to acquire if you want this thing.
They drop
Yeah, by the way, I don't have the right artifact, but I
from
do
Imperial
have
cooking turn-ins at a low
I do have
chance.
that.
The best
so-
in-slot artifact is Cooking Mastery. It will take a while to get, so in the meantime, Cooking EXP, a Life Skill Mastery, and Life Skill EXP.
Instead, I just dropped one of the random artifact. They're not even the right one, but it worked for cooking time, so I can even I will spend like 20 million extract it and put it on the right artifact when I drop it.
XP are good alternatives. Now onto accessories and clothes. Accessories really start to shine once you use them for actual cooking. We've now arrived at the first question from the beginning. Should you cook with mastery or silver embroidered clothes? Silver embroidered clothes have cook time reduction and can give us 1 second cook time. With mastery clothes, we're always gonna be above 1 second,
but also that wears out your cooking utensil, and you're gonna like really soon get tired of gathering for those cooking utensils. So it's not gonna be easy as a decision. Trust me on that one.
we get extra cooking procs from higher mastery. So what's better, cooking more or getting more procs? It's actually something you can math out, but to avoid boring you to death this early in the video, I'll skip the math and go straight to the results. What we know for sure is the fundamentals of cooking Lightstone set is a big game changer. It reduces your cook time with mastery clothes from about 4 to 2 seconds. If you don't have the Lightstone set, using silver embroidered clothes will get you the highest profit on every dish. Of course, when you're AFK or overnight cooking, it still makes sense to use mastery.
But you will need like twice as much time gathering resources, because if instead of 4 second cooking it will take 2, you're gonna need like twice as much cooking utensils.
Mastery clothes.
And being the mastery lower, not always will will proc the mass chance, so we'll need more utensil basically.
If you have the Lightstone set, you'll want to decide based on the value of the dish you're cooking. That means using mastery clothes for the expensive dishes like meals and the pricier components like hamburgers, and silver clothes for cheap dishes like vinegar and pickled vegetables. And when it's not quite obvious if a dish is cheap or expensive, you can use this sheet. Just plug in your setup and you'll get a nice graph showing how slow cooking compares to fast cooking. The next question is of course, at what level in your gear progression does it become worth to spend a few bills on the Lightstone set? And that's something only you can decide based on where you're at in the game, though
this guy says a few bill, a bit lightly. Few bill is still a few bill, so it's a lot of grinding.
I hope this sheet can help you with that. Now that the gear is sorted out, we need one.
The gear is not sorted out because you forgot about accessories. I don't have them, but you have Manos accessories, Logia and Geranoa hearing. Something that I don't have, but I know it's good for life mastery.
One more thing before we can start cooking, and that's materials, of course. I'll show you which materials are used in cooking and how to get them. Let's start by going through common materials, and I'll tell you. So I recommend
It went there. Already shown that.
pepper, and you can get them through farming.
So the problem with the garden and why I'm not showcasing here is because the garden has a big issue, and it's like every time there is an update, your garden get dismounted. At least it happened to be like 5 different times before I gave up on the garden stuff. I did get most of the thing, and to get also some knowledge on that. But also you need a bunch of CP, and you need like, it's like some stuff for more hand game. You can watch this full video from this guy if you have way more CP.
Then there's red meat.
But instead of that, I would suggest getting something like this going on. I'll show it here. Instead of spending your CP there, you could spend 1 CP. Actually, wait, let's do this here. In Duvenkron, you can have corn farming automatically. 1 here and 1 here. And when you have like a lot, you can transport to Heidel, paying the triple fee. Still more than buying an NPC. Eliton, you can put this new node here, Citron. I don't know why it's not going right now. I need to do one thing. Wrap it all. Okay. And I'm not done for you, like the CP that you will spend on the garden. I currently have a different setup than what you think, but in Altinova, you could buy 1, 2, 3 node and get pistachio, and get 1 node Singrain Bazaar here and get teff. There is another node here where you could get teff. Those are also good for cooking. They give like 700 XP for craft right there. There's also aloe that is right here. Not this one. Aloe, it's here. It's part of the step in connecting like Altinova with Idle. But yeah, that's beside the point. Let's go back to the vid.
That's all meat with
So
this
there's also
specific
like a
icon.
big discussion on meat and how to acquire. You need butchering, you need more tools and stuff. You can completely skip the garden and butchering if you just do vinegar and meat. And then once you are done like with your vinegar setup, you can like follow a more advanced guide. But yeah, you're gonna like be out of materials. But if you follow the guide that I said, you're gonna be kind of self-sufficient to the point you're not gonna need to go gather material for right now. You're gonna have to buy some strawberries, but you're gonna get a lot of strawberries and a lot of base resources for free. Like, I'm currently not finished with, like, you're gonna say, why do you think you're self-sufficient? There's one more thing. Right now I'm making vinegar, but there's one more thing that can be made. And I'm gonna show you right now. Stop the vinegar for a second. And it's like exotic herbal wine. So with the wheat that you get from nodes, you can process into flour, and then you can process into dough, and you can use one fruit from NPC to get the essence of liquor, and you can get a bunch of dough just infinitely processing your node stuff. So you're never gonna be run out of this stuff. So you can basically make exotic herbal wine forever. So if you start running out of resources, that's something you can do, and you're never gonna be out of it. So that's something that you can constantly cook, basically.
Bottleneck materials that don't sit on the market because no one wants
It's not
to
gonna
sell
be profitable,
them. For
but it's gonna
example,
be
milk,
always cooking.
eggs, and exotic
No
meats.
profit, but
Recipes
good
with
CP.
these materials are
basically.
quite profitable, so of course we want to get our hands on them. Next up are exotic meat.
Yeah,
The actual
milk and
substitution
egg.
quality depends on the item you substitute. Calls for 3 dough. You can use
That's an important thing for advance when you have more CP, so you can watch all of this stuff. I'm not gonna talk about it. Which town?
that. The second question: in which town should you cook?
I'm gonna say wherever you are near stone and wood.
There's not one
Put
objectively
the residence the closest way possible.
best town, and it
do
really
that.
depends on what your priorities are.
Also, the idle here, you can place your garden. I'm not currently placing garden anywhere, but I'm actually gonna show where my garden was. My garden was exactly right here. Between the gate and the river, there is one spot where there is barely enough humidity to put the garden down, having stuff grow. And I got bored of it because they kept making updates and I had to
Certain
re-put it
towns
down.
do have advantages, and it mainly comes down to being strategically
It's a
placed
good
on the
place
map,
in Villa
having a
for
central
the
market,
garden.
and housing useful vendors. Heidel is the most central town and close to a bunch of red meat gathering spots, but doesn't have a fruit vendor. It's not that big of a deal though,
That's why you put a second character on Calfium.
because you can just overstack a horse and import a million fruits and vegetables into your town of choice. From Calphion, you can quickly reach Bear for gathering, and it does have a fruit vendor for cooking and a herb and mushroom vendor for alchemy. Valencia can be an option if all you do is gather lions, but it's obviously pretty out of the way. The sleeper picks are definitely towns from the more recent regions. Odraxia has a fruit vendor and is close to some of the best hunting spots. Ailton also has a fruit vendor and is close to Frost Wolves and to Chira Ruins for snake and scorpion gathering. As you can see, there are multiple viable options for hometowns, and it really comes down to which town
If you want the fishes, is Velia. It's idle.
aesthetic you prefer, and where your life skiller
Like, the problem with Velia is that you don't have much storage. Calphion is too far away from resources like logs and trees and rocks.
Has to move on a daily basis.
So, like, there's no question to me that it's
Alright,
idle.
let's talk about how to level cooking. I'll mainly focus on getting to Guru 1, since after Guru you can just continue doing whatever you did to get there. The way to Guru is sketched out on my Guru Cooking TLDR. First of all, why would you even wanna hit Guru? So leveling your skills on the way to Guru.
Pick vegetable is the next good thing that you can, like, you have like infinite vinegar. You can buy vegetables, so you can use the vegetable that you get from nodes, and that's the next recipe that you can do for free.
Renowned Pickled Vegetable Professional box. We'll trade 2 routes to level your cooking or milk for an instant silver injection. Let's check out the XP calculator on Videolytics. People who don't mind gathering. First, get the number of crafts to hit Guru. We punch in the main dish crafts for gold value into the craft quantity, test it into the meals until you hit
This
Guru.
is more about silver
So
and
make sure
advanced stuff, so we're gonna skip
those
it.
are just recommendations, and you can choose to deviate a bit if you like. But keep in mind that dishes require a certain cooking level to get maximum procs. Valencia meal has the highest requirement, around 50 hours of gathering, hunting and cooking, and have a few weeks worth of meals ready to turn into imperial boxes. And that brings me to the third question. What is the most efficient way to level cooking after Guru? Cooking meals from imperial boxes will give you solid XP even after Guru, but since that's limited per day, how else can you level cooking? The way after Guru and eventually to G50 really is a choose your own adventure kinda deal. Some people like to spam vinegar into the light Gurus, while others transform into a gather cook bot. You just gotta find whatever works for you. My general advice is to cook for money and let XP come naturally. Alright, that's it for this video. I hope
If you want CP, my advice is just to set up a character on Duvenkron and check for the daily rotation. I do have my Guardian here on Duvenkron. So 1 character on Duvenkron for CPs, 1 character on Calphion to move the fruits, and 1 character of Idle to cook stuff. Then that's it, basically. And eventually when you make new character, you're gonna leave them in every main city, because they're useful, being there for any kind of thing that you wanna do without removing everything. Ending the video here. I hope you had a clear point of view now, and if you need to start cooking. I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.